So this is going to be, I guess you could say, a pilot for a new segment I'm thinking about creating called Hero-Villain Mashup, where I take one hero and one villain and pretty much be like, well, what if in one universe, in some kind of weird way, you had this hero and this villain, like, this villain was this hero's rogue or villain, you know, in he or she's rogues gallery. And it's not so much more like, it's kind of like a variation, I know, of what would they think, but instead of like two characters trying to be like, oh, buddy and stuff, and, you know, see what they think of each other, this is more like the hero the hero and villain trying to outsmart each other, and what would be the strengths and weaknesses, and how would their rivalry go about, and how would it all, you know, come to be, and how exactly would the hero try to combat the villain, and the villain try to combat the hero. So it's kind of like that, and I thought of a very interesting one, because this one was kind of going around in my head as earlier this morning. I was like, you know what, I think this would be interesting to do, especially for, like, to launch this off. So, as you can see from the title, yeah, Sonic and Reverse Flash. So, what would it be like if the Reverse Flash, or Professor Zoom, take that, you know, tomato, was a villain for Sonic? You know, how would Sonic react to all that? How would he be able to combat somebody like Reverse Flash? You know, things like that. So, first off, now, Sonic has fought speedsters before. You know, he's got a few speedsters in his rogues gallery. You know, obviously Shadow, who was a villain to him, but, you know, kind of like an ally now. We also have, you know, several forms of like, a Metal Sonic and Mecha Sonic. We also have several robots as well that managed to have super speed as well. But let's talk now. This is another speedster who, unlike the other, you know, Sonic and Shadow, Shadow, you know, everyone wanted to come after Sonic. Even Metal Sonic who's a very great villain. But here's the thing: the thing with all of, you know, the other villains in Sonic's rogues gallery, for the most part at least, were all directed at Sonic. They were never about, you know, wanting to take apart Sonic's life. They were all about the end-all be-all game was kill Sonic, we'll call it a day. That was the game. Now, if our boy here, Reverse Flash, was a villain in Sonic's rogues gallery, that would be a different tune. Because if you guys know what the Reverse Flash is capable of, then you know what he does, then you know it's not going to be that easy. As my good friend Cooliovids has said about, you know, the best description for Reverse Flash is, what if you gave the Joker super speed? That's the Reverse Flash right there. What if you gave it's pretty much if you gave the Joker super speed. And that's kind of the thing, and that's kind of the big thing there. Because that's the thing, is that, you know, this is a guy who could probably, for lack of a better word, keep up with Sonic. And even if he couldn't, and that's a pretty big if, because it's really hard to judge, you know, the speed between Sonic and Flash. I don't even want to know about Reverse Flash, because Reverse Flash, at points, can be faster than the Flash. So, this is a guy who could be able to keep up speed with Sonic, but here's the thing, he wouldn't just be able to keep up with him. Sonic, this is what we know. Sonic is not a good hand-to-hand fighter. He is more like run into things, hit them, and call it a day. Does he know how to fight? Yeah, but he's not like he's no Batman. He's no, you know, boxer or whatever. He knows how to punch and kick, but he usually lets his speed do all the work, and, you know, the spikes. Reverse Flash does know how to fight, and he's incredibly intelligent. It is pretty much like if you gave Metal Sonic's malice and gave it, you know, you gave that to a guy who, if you gave that to a guy who is more than willing and takes pleasure in ruining somebody's life without even touching them. Because like I said before, Sonic's other enemies don't really go after his friends and whatnot. Reverse Flash will. Reverse Flash will go out of his way, like he does with Barry Allen and Wally West, to systematically take apart their lives. And with the help of that super speed, yeah, that is a pretty nifty little tool there. So imagine if someone who could run as fast as Sonic possibly, again, possibly, you can't really measure Sonic and Flash's speed, as I've said before. So imagine if someone who could run but let's just say, for lack of a better word, he could run as fast as Sonic, and and he won't go after him. He'll find a way to just want Sonic to kill him, because he'll go after Amy, he'll go after Sally, depending if you want to go by comic standards. He'll go after Tails, Knuckles, anyone who can, anyone Sonic is friends with. Reverse Flash is gonna go after Eben Thawne or Hunter Zolomon, take your pick, is gonna more or less come after those Sonic cares about. And the thing is that Sonic is gonna be running 24/7 to try to stop Reverse Flash, a guy who has the same kind of power he does, maybe even more, and the malice of all this malice and rage behind him, and he won't have to touch Sonic. As I said before, if he can't keep up with Sonic, he'll make sure he can, he'll be more than fast enough to chase down Amy or, Tails or whatever. He'll be able to hunt them down, kill them, and then throw it in Sonic's face. Figuratively, literally, he will, for all I know, he could throw Tails' dead body right in Sonic's face and just laugh at him, say, you couldn't keep up with me. And let's not forget that, Reverse Flash does know how to fight. If these two got into an actual, fist fight as they're running around back and forth, yeah. This is, Sonic's going to have to start learning some hand-to-hand combat there. And let's not forget that Sonic is incredibly arrogant, whereas with, Reverse Flash is incredibly intelligent. He could easily make Sonic run literally into a trap. And that's pretty dangerous. But yeah, among other things, let's also compare what Reverse Flash would think of Sonic. Sonic, to him, would be like, he would just think, man, this is, if he somehow ended up in, Sonic's world, or, Sonic ended up in the DC universe, he, Reverse Flash would just look at him like, really? A blue hedgehog? Well, he runs fast. I bet I could steal his speed and add it to my own, and then, find a way to kill the Flash. Let's do that. But again, the level of arrogance of man, I'm fighting a giant, I'm fighting an oversized running hamster. Why am I doing this? But the moment he finds out that Sonic, could keep pace with him, I think he'll be like, okay, this guy's a threat. I'm gonna find a way to bring him down and kill him no matter what. And do I see him teaming up with the likes of Robotnik and the other villains that Sonic fights? No. You don't need him. He honestly does not need him. He is probably smarter than Robotnik, because Robotnik is just so full of himself these days. Let's face it, guys. Yeah, Robotnik, in the recent games of Sonic, he's been kind of pretty full of himself, hasn't he? I think the last time Robotnik was threatening was, I want to say, Sonic Heroes? Nah, he was kind of threatening in the Shadow game. But I want to say definitely, I think the last time we got a dark Robotnik was Sonic Heroes. If not Sonic Heroes, I don't know. There's so many Sonic games, I can't even keep pace. Pun intended. But yeah, these two, this would, this, if anything, if Reverse Flash was one of Sonic's enemies, this would put a whole new perspective on what Sonic is doing and what he's fighting for. Because, he's like, oh yeah, I'm the fastest thing alive. Eggman, that's no problem. Whereas, when he fights, and if he loses in his first fight with Reverse Flash, he is going to quickly realize, oh shit, this is not a game. This is serious. And imagine if Reverse Flash got a hold of the Chaos Emeralds. God help us all if he got a hold of all 7 Chaos Emeralds. So, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What do you think it would be like if the Reverse Flash was one of Sonic's enemies? What do you think the strengths and weaknesses of that would be? What do you think Reverse Flash would do to Sonic? How do you think Sonic would be trying to keep pace with him? How would that affect him psychologically and whatnot? That's the main thing I want to do with these hero-villain mashups, if, you guys want to see them continue. But once again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a pilot issue, and I don't really want to... Here's another thing. I really don't want to start a debate on who's faster, Reverse Flash or Sonic. It's more like, okay, someone using that speed to hurt Sonic, but not physically. That's the main core of it. So I did a Sonic and Flash video long ago, and all it turned out to be was just one big who's fast, everyone complaining who's faster, Flash or Sonic, and I really don't want it to turn into that. This is more like a hero and a villain duking it out. That's what I really want to see here, and your analysis on it. So anyway, once again, hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you want to see this continued. I've got a few other hero-villain mashups I really want to talk about and see how try to break that down. I probably didn't do that the best I could here, but again, you could consider this a pilot. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.